This is the story of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. You can read along with me in your book. You will know it is time to turn the page when you hear the bullwhip crack like this. Let's begin now. Adventurer Indiana Jones normally didn't wear a tuxedo, but the Chinese gangster Lao Che had chosen a fancy Shanghai nightclub for their meeting. Lao's girlfriend, Willie Scott, eyed Jones with interest, but he was in no mood for romance. This was business, deadly business. The crime lord tossed gold coins and a huge diamond onto the table.
I know you have found the ashes of my ancestor for me, Dr. Jones. Give them to me, now.
Indy pulled a jade box from his pocket and handed it over.
Let's make a toast, Lao. To me, never working for you again.
As Indy drank his champagne, Lao gave an evil laugh.
You've been poisoned, Dr. Jones. I have the antidote here, but it will cost the diamond and gold I just gave you.
Indy threw his drink into Lao's face and lunged across the table. But the antidote bottle tumbled to the floor, and Willie picked it up.
Get him!
Lao's men pulled out their guns and opened fire. Indy ducked behind a huge silver gong, cut it free, and sent it rolling across the room. Using the gong as a shield, Indy raced toward Willie, grabbing her around the waist.
You're coming with me, Dom. I need that bottle.
Together, they crashed through a large window and fell 3 stories, landing in the back seat of Indy's car. Shaken but unhurt, Indy yelled at the driver, his young pal, Short Round.
To the airport, Shorty. Fast.
Okay, Indy.
Hours after their plane took off, Willie frantically shook Indy awake.
Dr. Jones, wake up! The pilots, they jumped down. Nobody's driving, no fuel left. Do something!
Quickly, Indy searched the falling plane.
No more parachutes. Shorty, help me get this inflatable life raft to the door. Then you two grab onto me.
An instant before the plane crashed, Indy pulled the inflation cord and leaped out. The raft popped into shape and caught the wind. It bounced down a snowy mountainside and slid into a rushing, icy river. Willie grabbed Indy's sleeve.
Look out for those rocks! Oh, how did I ever get into this?
Finally, the raft came to rest on the riverbank, its 3 passengers cold, wet, and bruised, but alive. The chieftain of a nearby village walked up to greet them.
Welcome. You are now in India. We have been waiting for you.
The chieftain's village was desolate, his people starving. He offered the little food he had to his 3 guests.
Evil men from Pankot stole our sacred stone. Without its protection, our wells dried up and our crops died. Then the men came back again and took away our children. We prayed for help. You fell from the sky. Thus we know you were sent to help us.
Indy looked at the misery around him.
I'll do what I can.
Early the next morning, the adventurers set off for Pankot. As Indy climbed on a large elephant, Short Round called up to him.
I ride with you, Indy?
Nope. We got an elephant over there, just your size.
Shorty couldn't believe his luck. He scratched the little animal fondly behind the ear.
Indy's taking me to America. You come with me, baby elephant. Maybe we get a job in the circus.
That night, they made camp by a muddy river. Willie noticed Indy examining a scrap of antique parchment.
What's that?
One of the village kids escaped from Pankot and brought this back. It shows a Hindu god giving 5 magical stones to Shankara, one of India's ancient holy men.
Magical stones, huh? Like the one stolen from the village?
Indy smiled.
Could be my road to fortune and glory.
When they finally reached the palace of Pankot, frowning guards glared at them from every corner. But the Prime Minister came out to greet them warmly.
You must stay the night with us. The Maharaja will be most eager to meet you and hear of your adventures, Dr. Jones. Dinner will be at 8 o'clock.
Willie raced off to her room.
Dinner with a prince? I've got to get cleaned up. I hope he isn't married yet.
At dinner that evening, they met the Maharaja, a boy of 13.
A kid?
Shorty grinned at Willie.
Maybe he like older women.
Okay, so I don't get my prince. But I do get a royal banquet, and I'm starving.
But when the food arrived, it was awful things like roast snake and baked beetles.
Yeah.
Willie felt like crying. Indy eyed the strange food skeptically.
Hindus don't eat meat. Something's very wrong here.
Later, back in Willie's room, Indy noticed a draft coming from a crack in the wall. He examined it closer.
Look at this. There's a secret passage behind this statue.
He turned to Willie.
Lock the door until we come back.
He and Shorty crept into the dark, bug-infested tunnel. They entered a small room. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them, and sharp spikes began pushing out of the floor and ceiling.
This is serious!
Indy shouted through the door.
Willie, get down here fast!
I'm coming, but this tunnel is all wet and icky. Ah! There are bugs all over me. I'm getting out of here.
Willie, we're about to get speared in here. Find a release lever, quick!
Willie searched frantically as the spikes closed in on Indy and Shorty. At the last moment, she found the release. The spikes jerked back and the door sprang open. Drawn forward by a weird chanting, the three cautiously entered a tremendous temple cut out of solid rock. Hundreds of worshippers bowed down before a gigantic idol. It had a necklace made of skulls, and its eyes glowed. Indy pulled them back into the shadows.
It's a temple to Kali, the goddess of death. Her followers practice human sacrifice.
Horrified, they watched as the high priest, Mola Ram, lowered a man into boiling lava. While the worshippers were leaving, Indy looked closer at the repulsive idol.
There, at her feet, 3 of the magic Shankara stones, and 1 is the village's. I'm not leaving without them.
Indy used his whip to swing across the lava pit and quickly stuffed the mysteriously glowing stones into his shoulder bag. Then he noticed a tunnel behind the statue. He peered in.
It's a mine, and those workers, they're the village children.
Indy attacked the guards, but he was outnumbered and quickly captured. He was chained to a rock in the high priest's chamber, where he saw
Shorty, Willie, so they captured you too.
Mola Ram forced a bubbling, smoky liquid down Indy's throat.
From now on, all your thoughts will be of Kali, Dr. Jones. The blood of Kali will make you quite happy to be her slave.
The potion worked. A cold, evil look entered Indy's eyes. At a gesture from Mola Ram, his chains were unlocked. He followed the priests back into the temple, where he watched them lead Willie to a metal sacrificial frame.
Indy, help me. They want to draw me into that lava as an offering to Kali.
Indy gazed at her unfeelingly, then began to help the priests strap her down. Shortbrow was thrown into the mine to work with the other children. There, he learned that the spell of the potion could only be broken by the pain of fire.
Then I can make Indy be himself again. I got to escape.
When his guard wasn't looking, he darted away and scrambled up a ladder into the temple. There he saw Willie being lowered into the lava pit while Indy watched, smiling.
Indy, no! You got to wake up!
Shorty grabbed a torch and jammed it into Indy's side. Ah! The evil look in his eyes faded and was gone.
Thanks, Shorty. I'm okay now.
Indy battled his way to the guard, lowering Willie into the lava, knocked him off the platform, and pulled her back up. Then he grabbed up the villager's stone.
Come on, Shorty, follow us.
Punching priests left and right, he led them back into the mine.
We're going to set all these kids free.
Indy knocked out a guard and used his keys to free the children. As they fled the mine, a 7-foot guard suddenly attacked Indy. Fiercely, Indy battled the giant. But his blows had no effect. Then, Mola Ram appeared with more guards, firing guns. Indy yelled to Willie and Shorty.
Get into a mine car. We'll escape that way.
He finally tripped the giant and leaped under the mine car with his friends, just as it whizzed away into a tunnel. The mine car zoomed through the narrow tunnel like a roller coaster, nearly turning over on the tight curves. Then a shot sounded. Mola Ram's guards were following in another car. Willie curled up in a ball, turning green. Indy squeezed her shoulder.
Don't conk out on us, doll. We need your help.
Indy, Willie, and Shorty heaved a wooden beam out of their car onto the track. The pursuing car hit it with a horrible crash. When they came to the end of the tracks, Indy braked the car to a stop.
I guess we walk from here. What's that rumbling? A tidal wave. The guards open the reservoir above. Run for it!
Fleeing the wall of water surging down the tunnel, they ran like they'd never run before. Just before it crashed down on them, they reached the tunnel entrance and dodged out of the way. Tons of water gushed past into the rocky gorge below. Their only escape route was an ancient rope bridge spanning the gorge. Indy saw a pair of guards coming.
Willie, Shorty, get going while I hold these guys off.
They started across the shaky bridge. Abruptly, one of the worm-eaten boards broke under Shorty's feet. Willie lunged forward and caught him just in time. They continued carefully, but when they finally stepped off the bridge, Mola Ram appeared and captured them. Indy had overcome the guards and was halfway across the bridge when he saw his friends captured. Then, more guards appeared behind him. He was trapped. Mola Ram walked out onto the bridge.
The stones are mine. Give them to me.
Indy grinned at him.
Come and get them.
Swinging his sword with all his might, he cut the ropes, shearing the bridge in two. Indy grabbed a rope and swung to safety as Mola Ram and his evil guards fell toward the hungry crocodiles below. There was great rejoicing when Indy led the children home to their village. Willie looked around, astonished.
Streams are running. Crops growing. How could it all change so quickly?
Could be something to do with this.
Indy held up the sacred stone, then returned it to the village elders.
Well, there goes my fortune and glory. On the other hand, it's still a long way home.
He gave her a sly wink.
Who knows what might turn up?